We have clearance, Clarence.
Roger, Roger. What's our vector, Victor?
Enough is enough! I have had it with these monkey-fighting snakes on this Monday to Friday plane! Everybody strap in!
It's chaos as the FAA has grounded all Alaska Airline flights because of a problem with weight calculation systems. Then the FAA steps in and lifts that grounding an hour later. It was a huge issue. Apparently, there is a system that calculates weight and balance, and the FAA ordered a ground stop for all Alaska and Horizon flights because it wasn't operating properly. It happened this morning. All Alaska mainline and subcarrier flights stopped. They did not provide a reason for the advisory initially, but Alaska Airlines reported encountering a problem while updating software. This is their statement. This morning we experienced an issue while performing an upgrade to the system that calculates our weight and balance. And after they got that squared away, they were back in the sky. Flights for SkyWest, which provides regional service for Alaska Airlines, they were excluded from the ground stop. But they're anticipating all kinds of residual delays because you know how that happens. You know, somebody sneezes on Alaska Airlines in Anchorage and it's a delay in, Phoenix.
Yeah, because those aircrafts are like in and out of every location. It goes from one place to another, and it's just a trickle effect. And then they get rebooked to other carriers, and other carriers are involved. So it's like it's just like a whole bunch of dominoes that fall when these things happen.
That's exactly it.
Albert, thank you.
And the reality is that it happened while people were on the tarmac waiting to take off. Imagine that. This is an FAA edict. You can't take off. Then you've got a taxi off the tarmac and back to the gate. One person wrote, I've been sitting in this airplane for 2 hours. It was supposed to be a 3-hour flight. We were supposed to leave at 8:30 this morning. We are still sitting on our plane. It's 11 o'clock in the morning. So that's pretty huge. Earlier this year, I'll remind you, the airline was forced to cancel thousands of flights after a door plug popped on that 737 MAX 9.
That was United, right? Was that United or Alaska?
That was Alaska.
That was Alaska.
That was
Alaska. How dare you, Kim?
Yeah, Kim.
Kim, how are you?
I love United.
My bad. I'm sorry, United.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, right. You misspoke, would you say?
I misspoke.
Right, well, I don't... They, of course, did, following a thorough inspection, get cleared to resume flying. So Boeing shelled out $160 million earlier this month to make up for losses that Alaska Airlines had as a result of that problem. So, they got their money back. They clawed it back from Boeing, who makes the aircraft. But this is all going on while, as we'd mentioned earlier, Boeing whistleblowers are stepping up, and they are speaking, at least one of them, before Congress. A Boeing whistleblower told a congressional hearing that he got threats against his life. Another said that a probe into the door of the Alaska Airlines flight that blew out was a criminal cover-up. Both of them giving evidence to a hearing today around Boeing, this beleaguered company, which has moved to the front of many travelers' anxieties when it comes to safety concerns. This guy who spoke today before the Congressional Committee works as a quality engineer for Boeing and claimed that sections of the 787 Dreamliner jets have not been properly secured. The other whistleblower, executive director of the Foundation for Aviation Safety, former Boeing manager, had warned of chaotic manufacturing at the company.
That's scary.
They said that the safety situation at Boeing was like the company playing Russian roulette with people's lives.
God.
We never know exactly when it's going to happen or where or how it's going to happen.
Well, that inspires confidence in the airline industry.
Yeah.
I mean,
said that
the great majority
the investigation into that 737 MAX that had its door blown out mid-flight was being covered up. So he says there are revelations there that we just don't know because there is a cover-up ongoing. What's that, Kim?
I was just thinking, aren't the majority of aircraft in the United States manufactured by Boeing?
Yeah, I mean, it's Boeing or Airbus. That's the whole thing. And Boeing is the American company, and Boeing was, let's face it, was a top-drawer company for years, but it would appear that they've really seen degrading of the kind of stuff that they produce. And no records or documenting of the work associated with the removal of the Alaska Airlines door was made available. And again, I'll remind you, Boeing said we just can't find anything. Do you remember this on the Alaska Airlines thing? The door popped out. Boeing was looking into it, and they looked for records that documented the work.
And they couldn't even find that.
That's my point.
Yeah.
And he's saying, no, it's there. In my opinion, he wrote,
he's saying they're covering it up.
Stated this. In my opinion, this is a criminal cover-up. Records do exist documenting the detail and the hectic work done on the Alaska Airlines airplane, and Boeing's corporate leaders know it too. They fought to withhold these same damning records after the 2 MAX crashes. I know this Alaska Airlines documentation exists because I personally passed it to the FBI.
Whoa.
That's from the whistleblower. He told the hearing, I have even been subjected to threats of violence from my supervisor after I attempted to discuss the problems in a meeting in April 9th, 2023 meeting. After the meeting, my supervisor said to me, I would have killed anyone who said what you said if it was from some other group. I would tear them apart. I mean, this is a scary place. The culture at Boeing is not to get to the truth. The culture at Boeing is to cover it up and full speed ahead. He also has said, Boeing officials attempted to intimidate and retaliate against me by sidelining me from my job duties and excluding me from key meetings. There were threats being made against him. There was a large nail put through his car tire. To be a whistleblower is a gutsy thing to begin with. The public's safety is at stake here. These guys both stepped forward, and it looks like they've taken a lot of heat for doing it.
Well, they had the one whistleblower against Boeing who gave testimony to federal regulators, and then 2 days later he was dead. And the coroner said self-inflicted, but there are questions.
I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's alarming. It's scary. Anyway, there's been retaliation against these whistleblowers, and it continues to be alarming, both the retaliation, but also to the point their testimony has got to scare all of us, anyone who's getting on a Boeing plane. That's Stories from the Sky.
This has been Stories from the Sky. The captain has turned off the seatbelt sign, and you are now free to move about the cabin.
Hi, it's Mark, and I thought that was great. Hit the notification bell. You'll know whenever there's a new video being dropped, and please subscribe to our channel to help us save the universe.